Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our Wednesday Wisdom Circle. Nice to be here with you all this morning. Well, bright and early. I love all the early birds. It's actually really warm outside already this morning. It's quite lovely. Okay. So this morning, I have a teaching that I've been kind of investigating and pulling apart in my own life as I am making some transitions and sort of reevaluating a lot of how I've done life in many ways. And something that came to me really maybe like 2 days ago, I started to think about the distinction between connection and true relationship. And I think that as human beings, we often mistake connection for true relationship. But what we really crave is being known and knowing others and deeply in relationship, which is a moving, growing, um, constantly evolving thing. But we settle for connection because there's a chemistry in it and it's safe. If we have connections about like shared energy, like shared stories and laughter or mutual interests, you both like yoga or something, or similar life experiences, emotional resonance, like the Me Too moments, um, sometimes being helpful or supportive. And sometimes there's sort of an intellectual stimulation or chemistry or something. Connection's really just like a spark. It's a recognition of like, oh, this person is kind of like me, or there's something around this. It feels good and it feels affirming and it feels familiar, but it doesn't really ask anything of you. It's like effortless and kind of situational. And unfortunately, I think when we stay at that level, and I've been guilty of this in a lot of my friendships and even family connections, we're left feeling a little bit empty. We're left feeling like something's lacking depth. So I was thinking about connection versus true relationship. And being in true relationship, whether it's romantic or familial or platonic, friendship, whatever, it goes much deeper because it asks us for something. If we think about the fact that you are not the same person you were last year, you're not the same person you were last month, we are always ever growing, ever changing, which requires that if we're going to be in relationship with others, that we are recognizing their ever growing nature and ours and adapting and adjusting. So it requires self awareness, noticing our patterns and our projections because we learn about ourselves through relationship to others. So our projections and our reactions, taking responsibility for those things. It requires reflection, being willing to look at how we impact those around us. And does that align with who we really want to be? And then again, those adjustments, like shifting our behavior to align with love and integrity and truth, it requires curiosity, wondering about other people's inner worlds instead of assuming. And it requires living our values, like auditing whether we act in accordance with what we claim to care about. So I think that connection is easy. Connect when you make a new friend or, whatever, it's easy. It's like, oh, I really like that person. They're fun and we have something in common. But that's just lighting a candle. Being in relationship is like keeping the candle lit in a windstorm. It's like adjusting, shielding, and tending it with care. And so I always like to connect things to like the spiritual teachings, and in the yogic teachings, the closest sort of relational teaching here would be svadhyaya, which is self-study. And it's like true relationship begins with this inward gaze, your relationship to self. Are you truly noticing? Like most of us are disconnected from self, let alone in a relationship with ourselves. We just live up here looking out there for how other people are responding to us to be liked, loved, needed, wanted, admired, all of those things. But we're completely disconnected, let alone not in like relationship with ourselves. So svadhyaya is self-study. It's the willingness to sit still in meditation, to see, to be, to notice, and then to reflect and adjust. Um, we can use the Yoga Sutra, the yoga, the yamas and niyamas as a way to study ourselves. Like, look at are we practicing ahimsa, non harming? Are we practicing truthfulness? Are we practicing non attachment? These personal disciplines. But they're relational practices. So when we start to look at ourselves, then we start relating to others differently. So as a yogi, we might ask, like, am I bringing truth and kindness and non-attachment to this relationship with this person? Or am I showing up in ego, wanting to be liked and admired? And in Buddhism, the teaching is like interbeing, that we're not separate, right? Everything is one. And uh, Thich Nhat Hanh wrote, "You are me and I am you." So, from this lens, being in relationship means being willing to feel with others, not just about them, and like recognizing our connectedness. So, some of the relational practices from Buddhism would be letting go of attachment. In yoga, practicing right speech and deep listening, and allowing others the freedom to change rather than holding them to static versions that we have about them in our heads. What do I mean by that? How many of you, when you're gonna go for dinner with an old friend or something, and maybe you've seen them 5 years ago, and you're not so fond of their partner or whatever, and I dread this because that guy's gonna be like this. We have a projection of how that person was 5 years ago. And now our reticular activating system will work overtime to prove to us that that person is still the same. We won't even see the changes or shifts or adjustments. We can't even have a relationship with the new version of that person because we're committed to fitting them into a box. So here's some examples where we may settle for connection and there's an opportunity for deeper relationship. And the reason I'm going here is because deeper relationship is what's fulfilling to us as human beings. We run around feeling quite empty a lot of the times as humans, feeling like we're lacking something and we're looking for more things or experiences or vacations or whatever to fill us up. I believe relationship is everything in terms of feeling full. What's the state of our relationships? So, friendships, maybe you say you value your friend, but you haven't responded to their text message in 3 weeks. You know, what are you valuing more, your busyness or your relationship? Maybe if you have a romantic partnership, you feel connected because there's chemistry, but you shut down when conflict arises. Like, are you willing to go through tension or do you avoid the hard stuff so that nothing grows? In parenting or family, maybe you believe being present for your kids or your family is a value of yours, but you find yourself endlessly distracted and prioritizing tasks over presence. That's like a point to look at if you want to deepen relationships. And then work relationships, like maybe you call some of your coworkers family, but you actually don't give or receive any feedback. You stay on the surface and you're choosing, comfort over depth, because depth requires risk. And this is the thing, connection requires no risk. Relationship depth in relationship requires risk, vulnerability, feedback, curiosity. It requires that we risk being seen and known and maybe even rejected. But the depth that you seek is on the other side of that risk. So I came up with a couple of questions to ponder. Where in my life am I mistaking connection, It's like fun connection for true relationship. What does being in relationship require of me that I sometimes resist? What does being in relationship require of me that I sometimes resist? Maybe it's dropping the need to be right. Maybe it's getting curious. Maybe it's asking for what I need. Maybe it's being honest or vulnerable about something. And then where am I claiming a value but not living into it? Like saying I value these relationships, but I'm not actually nurturing them. I'm not actually making an effort to evolve those relationships. And what could it look like to bring more reflection, curiosity, and alignment into one relationship this week? Just one relationship. I mean, what got me thinking about this, folks, is I have this beautiful friend. Her name is Amy, and we've been friends since we were 12. And sometimes we'll go a year without talking. We usually talk on our birthdays, or whatever. And when I was going through this separation, she just like was such an amazing friend. Just showed up, like texting me all the time and asking how I am and calling me and like investing in it. And I thought to myself, geez, Pam, you've had this friend here the whole time, and we just kind of like show up for each other in these horrible moments. But probably I could tend to and invest in those friendships when things are good. And it was a self-reflection. Like I felt almost uncomfortable receiving that kind of love and attention from her when I kind of neglect the friendship. I was like, I want to be consciously in relationship with the people that I'm in relationship with. So something to think about. It's a more of a subtle teaching, I would say, to make this distinction, because connection feels good. It gives us a dopamine hit. Relationship is hard and it's scary sometimes. But I think that it's worthwhile looking at, if I'm feeling empty or off somewhere in my life, where am I not deepening my relationships? Because I think that's a well with no bottom. We can always deepen, we can always create more depth. Yeah. Okay, let's meditate, folks. So sit your spine up nice and tall. Mhm. And close your eyes. Let the body be still and let your breath be gentle. And just scan your body. Scan your body from your crown, your forehead, the bridge of your nose, your cheekbones, your upper lip and your lower lip, the front of your neck, the back of your neck, your shoulders, elbows, wrists, your hands. Notice your heart space, your belly, your pelvis, your upper thighs, your lower legs, your ankles, your feet. And then just notice your whole body still in space. Now pull your awareness to your breath and watch your breath move into and out of your nostrils. Perhaps noticing the rims of your nostrils flaring. Now imagine yourself just standing in a beautiful open field. It's the season where all the wildflowers are out. Maybe you picture some of the wildflowers, the tiger lilies are out at my house right now. The air is calm. And from this beautiful open field, you notice before you a sturdy wooden bridge. Fill in the details of the bridge and the field and feel the air around you. And on the other side of the bridge stands someone you feel connected to, someone you care about. Maybe it's a friend or a partner, family member, or even someone who's drifted into your life. You feel the warmth of connection to them. But today you're ready for and you're being invited into something deeper. Before you step onto the bridge, bring your awareness to your heart and silently ask yourself, am I willing to walk into true relationship with this person? As you step onto the bridge, begin walking slowly across, and with each step, reflect, am I bringing truth? Am I bringing curiosity? Am I aligned with my values? Am I willing to grow? And as though there's a mirror in front of you, maybe floating in the air, look into it and ask, who are you being in this relationship? With compassion, notice where you might be holding back or managing perceptions. Now breathe deeply into the question, what would love invite me to do differently here? When you're ready, you complete your walk across the bridge and you arrive not to control or change the other, but to be present in your wholeness. You see the other person not as someone to impress, fix, or be approved by, but as a human on a path just like you. With your eyes still closed, just silently say, I'm here, I'm willing, I'm open. And let that phrase echo inside of you. Now come back to the awareness of your physical body, starting at your feet. Glide your awareness up to your shins, your knees, your thighs, your sits bones, your solar plexus, your chest, shoulders. Slide your awareness down your arms to the palms of your hands and the tips of your fingers. Then pull your awareness up to the hollow at the base of your throat. Notice your bottom jaw and your tongue heavy on the floor of your mouth. Notice your eyes heavy in their sockets. The crown of your head. Once again, your whole body as a space. Take a deep, full breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. And then just let your eyes flutter open. Hmm. So, I hope that this teaching resonates for you this morning. If it does, there's some good inquiry questions around, what does being in the depth of relationship require of me that I sometimes resist is such a good question. Um, for me, the answer to that is sometimes I resist saying I don't know or that I need something, asking for what I need. Sometimes I resist reaching out to others because I'm afraid that they might need something that I can't give, and that would make me feel inadequate. Like there's a lot of inquiry around this, and when we can shine a light on those areas that we resist, we know which direction to walk in order to get what we're looking for. So I am happy and grateful for this reflection, happy and grateful for all of you. And I would love to open it up for anyone who has something to say about it this morning.